Okay, so how are we doing here? We're to our last 2 stitches. We're going to double crochet into that stitch, and then this one, now don't get confused here, but I want to show you this. Let's do that so I can bring that up here. Here is our chain 3. 1, 2, 3. See that? This right here, actually, you know what? I'm missing 1 stitch. Okay, I got to go stitch in here, and then the top of that chain 3 is the last stitch right there. Okay, so let's go here. See? 1 here. And the last one is in the top of that chain 3. Oops, and I guess it would help if I did an actual double crochet. All right. So, pull that through. And I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker in here. All right, so let's take a look here. Here we have 2 rows. See that? Okay, now what I want you to do is, first of all, kind of stretch it out. Don't stretch it too far, but kind of stretch it to how it's going to lay. And then take your measuring tape and let's measure it, okay? And mine is kind of off camera, but just know that I'm measuring it. And I'm coming up with 27 inches, just what I wanted. Okay? So here we're going to be doing some book work. Let's get out your notebook. Here we had written down row 1. All right? So here, row 2, we just finished it. So what did we do? We chained 3, turned, okay, then we double crocheted into every stitch across, right? So now what you need to do is you're going to count, not that first one here, because that was the chain 3 right here, okay? We're going to count every double crochet across, all right? So I'm going to let you do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my count was that I have 65 double crochets. So here I'm going to write double crochet in each stitch across. All right, then now if you want to do it like this, you can. If you want to write double crochet in top of chain 3 space. Okay, that's that last one, so that you'll make sure that you include that last chain 3 space in your count. Okay, then what I want you to do is write total. Now take that total of how many stitches you counted plus that, let's write down first how many. A total of, and mine was 65, okay? Total 65. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. I'm going to write 65 right here, because that's where it is, because I'm going to double crochet in each stitch across 65. And then I'm going to keep that in parentheses. That's just for me, okay? You can do that for yourself. Just put that in parentheses just for yourself to remember. So I actually have a total of 66. That's including that first chain 3. Okay? I hope that made sense. All right. Now, remember, this is for you, okay? What you write in your notebook is for your eyes only. You are learning, okay? Just as long as you can go back and you can understand what you were saying in your pattern, okay? So, now here is another step we're going to do. Up here, remember we measured top to bottom, and that's how long our piece of fabric is so far, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure side to side. And I want you to write down how many inches that is, okay? So measure from the bottom of, you can use actually if you want, if you're wearing something that has seams on the side, just measure from seam to seam. So I'm going to write seam to seam, and then take that measurement and write that one down. Now remember, it is going to stretch a little bit, so allow just a little bit of give, but not too much, okay, because it's going to stretch. Okay, I come up to 22, and I'm looking at that, and that is a good plenty. In fact, I might even make that down to 20. I'm going to make it 20, okay? So 20 inches. Now, you just do however you like. I mean, if you'd like a lot of give, or if you want it to be snug, however you want your particular garment to be, your sweater. This is all you, okay? So, here's the next step. Now I want you to measure this piece right here, okay? I want you to measure that piece. So mine, I'm going to say, is 1.5 inches. Now, I want you to play around with this, okay? What I want you to pretend that we have see if I can, I'll just use here. So we want our sweater, if you're using 2 colors, okay? If you're using, like a stripe pattern, you want it in stripes. My particular one that I did with my blue, let me show you again, is I had stripes. All right? So here's how I did mine. Oh, let's go to the back. This is the back part. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the dark, 2 rows of the light. And I alternated that. I alternated it across the back so that I had 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, well, not 5 rows, I'm sorry, 5 sections of the dark, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of the light. All right? Everybody following along? So, what we want to do is determine how much we want to do. How many do we want in each one of our rows, or how many we want in each section, and how we want to divide it up. If you want to do it like mine, what you're going to do is you're going to have dark, light, dark. Oops, mine is not even at all. I am so sorry. So we have dark, light, dark, light, dark. See, that's 1, 2, 3, dark, light, and then 1 more dark. Okay, that is way off scale. Okay, way off scale. But if 2 rows is just one of these light ones here, is the width of it, okay? So what I'm going to do is say, okay, let's see here. Here's 1.5. So these 2 are 3 inches. And then these 2 are 3 inches. Okay, are you following me? Are you following me? Now your dimensions are going to be different, okay? But I'm just kind of giving you a layout of how I'm doing mine. So if I know that these are going to be twice as wide, then each one of these is going to be 6 inches. 6 inches. And this is going to be, is that right? Let's see here. 3. No, that can't be right. So this is 4 inches. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. 1.5. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that would be right. And then this last one would be 3 inches. So let's total this up. 6 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So my sweater is going to be 21 inches across if I did it like this. Okay? So let's do it with different dimensions, okay? Just so that you can kind of get an idea. Let's go to a different blank page here. Okay, let's say you want to work... and this all automatically let you know this is definitely all up to you, okay? Let's say you want your light ones to be 3 inches and you want your dark ones to be, well, let's do 3 rows. And you want your dark ones to be 4 rows because you like a little bit wider of a more even. So then you would work with this. How wide, if you were to do 3 rows, how wide would that be? And then you would figure out how wide the 4 one would be. Is everybody understanding that, or am I just like out of touch here? Now, if you want to make, let's go back to this, to my little one here. Mine is going to be 21 inches across. So if you wanted yours 21 inches across, which would fit a medium/large, then just use my measurements here. Let's say you wanted to do an extra large, well then just add another section, you see. So that would be 3.5, 4.5. So you're just going to be adding another 4.5 inches to your width. You following me? Because if you add another 3 inches here, which is a dark, and then another 1 inch, 1.5 inch here, that's 4.5 inches. And then you'll just be adding that onto the side. If you want yours to be a little bit narrower by 4.5 inches, then just take one of those off and just have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of dark and 1, 2, 3 of light. Okay? So I'm going to pause this to kind of give you some time to think about how you want to do this. Okay, so did you decide how you wanted to work it? All right, so I'm going to continue on because I want 4 rows of this double crochet. All right, so get my hook and I'm going to start up here. Chain 3, turn, double crochet in the first, double crochet, and double crochet in each stitch all the way across. Okay, that is what I'm going to do for the next 2 rows. But after each row, I'm going to go back to my notebook. Row, oops, this has a 2, row 3, chain 3, turn, double crochet in next stitch, and in each double crochet across. And then I should have 66 stitches. All right, now I want you to do that for the next 2 rows. All right, this number, remember, might not be exactly like yours. Remember, you're doing your length. This is my length, but just make sure that you have the same amount of stitches at the end of each row. Now, if it is helpful to you, what you could do is put a stitch marker in just to help you out. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, excuse me, 9, and 10. Okay, let's say you wanted to do every 10 stitches. Then at that 10th stitch, when you finished, just take your stitch marker and put it in there. All right, so now you don't have to go back to the beginning and start counting all over again. Just count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And place a stitch marker. Okay, there you go. So now I know I have 20 stitches. All right, so go ahead and continue on finishing your first block of color here, okay? Whether it's 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, however many you want to make it, go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be with you in just a minute.